times than the women and children. Children aged 12 and under had to stay with the women. Let's see.
Is there a different kind of menu of food?
Initially, it was all good old American food, meat and potatoes, until the Chinese had food riots in the dining hall. And so federal troops had to be brought in, but that's no big deal because federal troops have been on this island since 1863. So the Immigration Service was forced to hire Chinese cooks from San Francisco, Chinatown, to come here and prepare Chinese food for the Chinese. We have a new book that was published last summer titled Angel Island, which gives a chapter-by-chapter breakdown of different immigrant groups and their experiences here. And in the chapter on the Japanese experience here, it states someplace that the Japanese detainees here at the immigration station did not like the Chinese food they were served. But we saw no resolution to that after issue.
Yeah.
I wanted to show you some of the poetry down here in the corner of the room. I think I mentioned these three signs in 5 languages. In the early 1990s, I believe, the state of California, once interest was raised, we tried to restore this building. They brought some students in. Go ahead and step on the slide. And they wanted to try to uncover more poetry and see what it would take, because they knew all these years of neglect and everything. And so they had students come in and they stripped away the paint 1 layer at a time, and that's how we know there are 9 layers of paint. And you can see some of the original Immigration Service green color that they used to cover these walls. The state estimated it would cost $100 per character to try to uncover more poetry. And we didn't have that kind of money back then. We don't have it today. Plus, after 1997, the federal government declared this a National Historic Landmark. And so federal regulations prohibit us from touching the historic Army paint. So we can't uncover more poetry today. In fact, during our $15 million renovation of this barracks and the surrounding grounds here, you can imagine what an effort it was, being a National Historic Landmark, just trying to clean the walls, to make it safe enough for us to visit today. So,
Makes you want to just put plexiglass.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Actually, part of the renovation was, are you from California?
Yeah.
Okay, so you know what earthquake retrofit means.
Yep.
They took down all of the interior walls and earthquake retrofit this building.
Wow.
2x4s, 4x8s, plywood sheeting,
Taken down?
all of these walls and taken down.
Oh my God.
I have photos of these panels lying on the floor, carefully numbered and stacked. And,
Oh my God.
Like there, like this, is that a cut right there?
it might be.
No, it's just,
No.
wow.
That's amazing.
I mean, they did an excellent job on this place.
Jeez, that's a lot of work.
Plus new electrical and fire extinguishers.
Yeah, you can tell that.
Yeah.
Didn't have smoke alarms back then.
Sprinklers?
Yeah, right.
Yes, right. I don't think so.
And did you see the explanation of the poetry downstairs?
Not yet.
In the room immediately below us, there's some nice interpretive panels there that tell more about the history and the poetry particularly. We know very little about the authors of the poems or whoever did the carving, because very few of the poems are signed. So we know the names of almost nobody. We've never interviewed a former detainee here who's admitted to writing or carving anything on the wall, because who, after all, would want to get deported for defacing U.S. government property. And the common misbelief, I guess, is that all the Chinese that were detained here, the men especially, were just country bumpkins, peasant farmers and all. But when we look at the calligraphy that's carved here, this is was almost print quality Chinese calligraphy. So that took a pretty high level of education, whoever did the carving. Whoever composed the poetry had a pretty high level of education as well, because there are many references to classical Chinese literature, to ancient Chinese history that only a well-educated person could have learned, remembered, and put in a poem. I mean, you know, that's hard. Yeah, right. If we were to summarize all 200 poems, it would go something like this. Oh, woe is me. Here I spent a great deal of money to come to Gamsan, which was Chinese Cantonese for land of the Golden Mountain, which is what the Chinese call, you know, the country, the gold discovery. And let's see, the barbarians throw me in a wood house, you know, this wooden barracks. And that was sort of the ultimate insult for the Chinese, to be thrown in a wood building, because in China, wood buildings during that time were meant for animals. That's where the pigs and chickens were kept. Real people lived in brick or stone or masonry houses. So.